So, speaking of me, maybe ends right here.
Oh yeah.
They're teasing again a future feud between Gunther and the bandwagon express that everyone is jumping on right now, which is Ludwig Kaiser. Welcome. Welcome aboard. I've said this a million times because everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's a star. It's like, where have you been?
Where have you been?
Where have you been? Were you under a rock with Patrick Star? Because that's the only thing. So this tension that they've been teasing over the past couple of weeks, we saw it again this week, and it's not looking good between Mr. Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, and a lot of people are looking forward to what appears to be the inevitable eventual match between these two. And so obviously I am a gigantic Gunther fan. Imperium is up there with some of my top, groups, whatever. Obviously, we also have my poor man's right here.
Get him out of here.
No.
Get that face. That
I need to get Kaiser too, but he was so expensive. That's why I didn't get him.
Because he's on the up and up.
So I love Imperium. I love them individually, and I think Kaiser is a star in the making. I think he could definitely be a top guy at some point. But I really hope that this is just teasing of tension and it's not going to be something that actually happens, because I don't think that they need to have Kaiser be Gunther's sidekick forever. I think that they can be allies and still doing their own thing. You know what I mean? And like, if they needed to do a tag match or something, like, yeah, they would team up. I don't think that every group that wants to, individually want to go and do their own thing, I don't think that they need to disband. Like, we've seen the success of like the New Day, for instance. Like, they went off and were doing their own thing, and they each supported each other when they were going after WWE championships or whatever singles title. So I don't think that needs to happen with Kaiser and Gunther. And I would like to believe that this is more of what I would really love, honestly, is if this is reverse psychology from Gunther on Kaiser, right? Because every time he has in the past wanted to get Kaiser or even Vinci worked up, he talked shit to them and told them about how they suck and how they're not doing this or they're underperforming. And then what happened? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised about that. I also wouldn't be surprised if this is a tactic leading up to Gunther's match with Damian Priest to make it seem like there's tension between them and that it's not real, as they've done before. But what do you think?
I can see this happening down the line. Obviously, I just don't think it's going to be as soon as people think. Like I see Gunther coaching Kaiser to become a champion because they're not on the same level yet. So he's going to guide him until they get there, and then we're going to see them square off for the eventual world heavyweight or WWE championship, whatever that show has. I want to see Gunther coach Kaiser. Like, I want to see Gunther step away in a sense, because I mean, what we've seen already. I want to see him take on this new role, because this would be different from what he's been doing as the ring general and just kicker of asses. It would be nice to see him on the side of doing that, also be coaching him up.
And we also have to remember that the whole point, basically, of Imperium was that Gunther was basically training them. You know what I mean? To like, he saw the potential in them and could see that they could be like top tier level dudes, and because they shared the same passion for wrestling and they respected the sport in the same way. Yes. So it would make sense for Gunther to want to do that for Kaiser, not to mention the character of Gunther. Don't you think that he would get some sort of ego boost from being the
Yes.
reason that Kaiser wins the
Yes.
Intercontinental Championship.
Thank you.
You
Yes,
know?
Sarah. You're getting
Um,
it. Exactly.
yeah. So I feel like that works. Like that works a lot better.
Like bread and
I-
butter, Sarah.
yeah.
Like bread and butter.
It's definitely possible that this is going to happen in the future. I just don't think it's going to happen, like you said, as soon as people think, where it's like, oh, that's the next thing that is going to happen. No, I think that we're either going to see I think this might be the reverse psychology thing that we've seen from Gunther before. As I said, we could also see that maybe if Kaiser eventually wins the Intercontinental Championship, them butting heads as champions or something and thinking they're too good for the other or whatever, that could be kind of like what the tipping point is for them to eventually break up. But I don't think that that's going to be something. I also just don't feel like it's necessary. I get why people want to see Kaiser versus Gunther, but I don't think that we necessarily need to see it.